In this video, I'm going to show you 3 extremely simple things to do that will make you completely prepared when you are cold calling. And the first is to simply create a list of good questions to ask. Cold calls can go in a lot of different directions, and it can be easy to not know what to say. But if you have a short list of questions in front of you, you will always have something to say, because when you get stuck, just ask one of your questions. And one of the keys to cold calling is being able to keep the conversation going. And one of the best ways to do that is to keep asking questions. And another way that cold calls can be unpredictable and go in a lot of different directions is you can often face a lot of different objections. And those can be very difficult situations. And one of the best ways to respond to many different objections is just to simply ask a question. So if you have your list of questions in front of you, and when an objection comes up and you don't know what to say, simply deflect the objection by asking one of your questions. And the great thing about this sales tool is that it is extremely easy to use. Simply have your list of questions on a piece of paper or on the screen in front of you, and when you get stuck or end up in an uncertain direction, simply look at your list and ask one of the questions. Now, you may agree with that 100%, but not know what questions to ask. And we can make it extremely simple and clear what questions you should ask for your product and service, because we can help you create 2 sets of questions. The first set of questions is what we refer to as pain questions. These are questions that probe to see if the prospect has the pain that your product can make go away. And the second set of questions that you can create are what we refer to as current state questions. These are questions that help you to learn more about what the prospect is doing in the area where your product or service fits. Now, these questions will be completely unique for every product and service, so we can't tell you exactly what questions to ask, but what we provide is a step-by-step process to create your questions. And this is our sales message brainstorming process. And step 5 is where the process will help you to create an optimum set of questions for your product or service. And when you go through this process, you might end up with a list of questions that look like this. These are actually my questions for selling my product of SalesScripter. Now, I'm not going to explain this process to you in this video, because we've done that in another video that takes you through this process step by step, and you can use that video to create your sales message and your questions, and I'll include a link to that video in the description below. And the second step for becoming completely prepared for the different directions a cold call can go is to simply have responses for the objections that you can anticipate coming up. And the reality is that there are only 7 objections that will come up again and again. What is this in regards to? Is this a sales call? I'm not interested. We do not have any budget. We already used someone for that. We're not looking at making any changes right now. Just send me your information for now. Of course, there are other objections, and there are probably a few objections that are specific to your product or service that will come up. But this short list of objections are the main objections that you will face again and again. And this is a fairly short list, so it's extremely practical for you to have a response for each of these prepared and in the front of your mind when you're making cold calls. And that can not only help you to perform better, but that will help you to drastically reduce the amount of anxiety and stress you have and the amount of beating up that you take when you're making cold calls. Now, you may see this list of objections and think that these are very difficult to respond to and very difficult to get around. We actually have a full objection handling methodology that explains exactly what you should say and do when all of these different objections come up. And I'm not going to explain that methodology in this video, because we've done that in another video that goes through the full methodology step by step, and I'll include a link to that in the description below. But to show you how that methodology works, when you go through our sales message brainstorming process, each of those steps will create these sets of bullet points and talking points, and each of those sets of points creates what we refer to as building blocks, and you can use those building blocks to create your cold call script, you can use those same building blocks to create your objection responses. And because you're using the same blocks for your script and for your objection responses, you're actually not creating additional responses to learn and memorize. All you're doing is learning where to deflect to and bounce to in your cold call script when you face those different objections. And we explain all of that in that other video, so I'd encourage you to check that out. And the third step for becoming completely prepared for cold calls is to simply practice your pitch. It's not a revolutionary idea that we should practice what we're going to say before we end up on the phone with a live prospect. But even with that being so clear and making so much sense, salespeople do not practice nearly enough or at all. And I'm speaking from experience from being a salesperson and working in many different sales organizations. I can probably count on one hand the number of times that I've role-played sales scenarios when I was a salesperson. My theory on why we don't role-play enough is that it can be difficult to find someone to practice with. In addition to that, it can feel extremely uncomfortable to role play because when you're practicing, you put yourself in a more vulnerable situation where you might expose areas where you are weak or have room for improvement. And that's something you might not want to do in front of colleagues and in front of your manager for sure. So what happens is we don't practice at all. And then we're getting our practice and learning through trial and error in real conversations with prospects. And what that leads to is missed opportunities because we're making mistakes and learning in live scenarios with real prospects. So we are actually trying to solve that problem and help salespeople to practice more with a tool that we created called Sales Simulator. This is an AI version of a prospect that you can practice your cold calls with. It is designed to work with just about any product or service in any industry, and you can practice 3 scenarios: your cold call being answered by a prospect, your cold call being answered by a gatekeeper, or an objections drill where you can just practice and face many of the common objections that are guaranteed to come up. So let me show you what this looks like real quick.
Hello, this is Mary.
Hey Mary, it's Michael Halper. How are you?
Going okay.
Hey, are you guys using paper clips today?
No, we are not.
Oh, I see. Is that something you've looked at in the past?
Yes, we have.
Okay, who'd you guys look at?
We have been looking at Tiger Ball and Dynamic Info.
What'd you think about them?
They are easy to work with.
And so let me just close that real quick. And as you can see, you could keep going on and you can really talk to the AI about anything. But let me show you your call being answered by a gatekeeper.
Thank you for calling XYZ. How may I direct your call?
Hi, I'm trying to reach the person in charge of paper clips.
You should call Michelle in procurement.
Could you transfer me over to her?
Yes, speaking.
Hey Michelle, this is Michael Halper. Wanted to talk to you about paper clips today.
We already used someone for that.
Oh, I see. Who are you guys working with?
I am not sure I should share that with you.
Okay, and I'll just close that. And similar to those objections we just heard, you can jump straight to objections with the objection drill.
We are locked in a contract.
Oh, I see. When does your contract expire?
3 years.
Okay, and how's everything going with your provider?
Things are okay.
Is there anything that is not working well?
The system is difficult to use.
And so hopefully that gives you a good idea of how you can use the Sales Simulator to practice and warm up and be completely prepared for your cold calls. And if you would like to try the Sales Simulator, you can actually do it for free with our free trial, and you can either access that directly from our website or you can download our app from the Apple App Store or the Google App Store. And that is pretty much it. If you want more information, the best place to go is salescriptor.com. Thanks for being here. Hope this was helpful, and we look forward to seeing you on the next video. Have a great day. Take care. Bye.